Well, guys, welcome to another edition of Isiah Factor Uncensored Friday night, and we're here live at LA Bar on Richmond Avenue, and we have a lot of great topics to discuss. Also, we're going to touch sports, internet topics, and also some great guests. But before we get to the great guests who are here, we want to get to this great guest who did not show up, Victoria Rao, who used to star on Young and the Restless. Now, for at least 3 calls and a week and a half, her people said she had committed to this event to be here on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. Then I get a call on yesterday saying she is tired and she's right here in Houston. Well, we're through with Victoria Rao. So Victoria Rao goes in the garbage can. Now we're going to get on to the guests who are actually here. Now we have billionaire, I said billionaire Farouk Shami, who is here from Farouk Systems and Chief Products. Also, we're going to talk to Houston royalty, Dr. Carolyn Farb. All of that's coming your way here in the show. But first, let's get to some of the hot topics that are making the news around the country. Now, topping our stories tonight, South Carolina's governor and the legislature did the right thing today. That's my personal opinion. We're uncensored here. Now, they voted and pulled the ancient relic of the past, the Confederate flag, down. State officials in South Carolina had the confidence and the courage to do the right thing while the Republican presidential candidates stood around silent and, yes, spineless. They're afraid to lose white votes in the South Carolina primary. How about this? Grow a pair and don't be left on the wrong side of history in America. Also topping the news this week, the FBI has cream pie in its face, and deservingly so. The G-men really dropped the ball with their too damn slow background checks. They admitted to allowing Dylan Roof, the South Carolina church shooter, to buy a gun when they did not respond quick enough for the 3-day waiting period. That allowed this pistol-packing racist felon to go into a church and kill 9 people, 9 innocent people. I need more than an apology from the FBI. I need some firings and terminations. And finally, old Donald, Mop Top, Donald Trump is in the news again. He wants to be as he wants to be, but every time he opens that mouth, that 14-carat foot goes right in it. He's still taking heat from fellow Republicans and politicians for his ill-conceived, vicious attack about Mexican immigrants, calling them killers and racists. He's also lost millions of dollars in sponsorships, so now he's trying to what? Clarify.
I love the Mexican people. They have tremendous spirit. They have tremendous vibrance and life. I love them. I have so many friends. I respect the country of Mexico. The problem is the country of Mexico, the leadership is much smarter than our leadership. They are killing us in terms of jobs and economic development, and they're killing us at the border. When I say that Mexico is, I'm talking about the country of Mexico, the government of Mexico. They're sending us criminals. In other words, instead of putting them in their jails, they're sending them to us.
Now we're talking with Farouk Shami, who is here, and you had a crucial role in the Donald Trump episode. But first, before we get to Donald Trump, where you dropped all your sponsorships of all of his programs, first of all, I was so impressed with you. First of all, you pulled up in a Rolls Royce. You have on a pimp purple suit, gangster. That's just cool. That's just cool.
That's the American dream, right?
That is the American dream.
Okay, that's where we are.
Now, you have made news last week because you pulled your sponsorships from Donald Trump as a result of what he said. What disturbed you so much about what the Donald said?
Well, let me tell you, I'm an immigrant. I'm proud of being an immigrant, okay? I'm Palestinian origin, okay? But I'm proud to be American. We came to the American dream. We did not come to discrimination. And if anybody knows Latinos and Mexicans, I do. I hire and I work with thousands of them, the nicest people, most loyal people. And if you could remember my campaign, what did I say? A day without Mexican is a day without the sunshine. Okay?
I remember that.
You know, when somebody says something different, I take up for the people who I love, I work with. They're the people who built our country. That's the diversity of our culture is what makes America the greatest. Okay?
Now, when you first heard Donald Trump make those comments publicly, were you shocked as someone who sponsored many of his events, many of his TV shows, because you sponsor Celebrity Apprentice, also the Miss USA pageant, and you pump millions of dollars into those programs? Were you shocked when you heard him say that?
It was a big slap on the face. And I thought Donald must be saying that. He wants publicity. He wants to make sure that he doesn't win. Maybe. I don't know what's in his mind, you know. But we totally disagree on his views, you know. As I said, we're a country of immigrants. The difference between one American and another is which one his family came first. You know, what do we do without immigrants? Nobody would be living here. We are all Americans. We're equal in front of God and the law. And nobody should cut anybody down. Absolutely.
Now, how much have you pulled away from his program in terms of dollars? Thank you, Carolina. Water for both. I told you we're interactive here. I'll see you back at work Monday. Now, how much dollars are we talking about that you pulled away from this program?
Well, it's not the amount of dollars. It's the concept and the ethics of it, you know. That's what we pulled out, you know. It's not really about money and all of that. That's the last thing I thought about it. It's the concept, the principles, and what we stand for as immigrants and people living the American dream who came with the United States of America, and America gave us the opportunity. And we want to continue like that.
Now, real quick, when you ran for governor, you had a little controversy of your own when you said that white people won't work in warehouses. No.
It's true.
Tell me about that.
I still say that, you know. I mean, people are surprised when you... I'm not a politician. I say facts. I'm a business person. And when I look at who is working, you know, at the warehouse, you know.
And you're saying it's not white people.
It's not. White people like, you know, I said it before, they want to be in charge. You need to work your way up before you become in charge, you know. You can't just...
You're not willing to hold your tongue right now.
No,
you got to say what you feel, what you believe.
That's the way it should be for everybody. Aren't we in America?
Absolutely.
You know,
now, before
we have
we
the
lose you,
freedom
we only have a few
speech.
seconds to go.
Yes.
I looked you up on the internet. It says worth $700 million. Is it 700 million or a billion?
I really don't know. Yeah.
It's got to be a billion if he says he doesn't know how much he's worth.
I don't care, you know, really. You know, I mean, I look for success. I look for growth. And, you know, money really is the result of hard work, you know. Everybody can be in my same shoes.
Absolutely.
If they follow the Constitution. And
we want you to hang around. We're running out of time, Mr. Shami, but we want to thank you for coming by, and we appreciate you visiting the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
Pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment with Dr. Carolyn Farb, and we'll take a look at some of the hot topics going on right here in Houston and around the world. Stay with us on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. And welcome back to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. Joining us now live is Dr. Carolyn Farb, and I call you Houston royalty, a philanthropist, someone who makes a difference right here in our community. I want to thank you for coming on Isiah Factor Uncensored.
I love being here. This is exciting, and I'm glad you're having a live show. People respond to that.
Oh, absolutely. We're having a good time. We're live on Richmond Avenue. Lots of people here. You can't really see it right now. LA Bar, absolutely. Now, you have been busy, and you've always fought for people. Now, when you heard the issue about South Carolina and the Confederate flag still being up, what did you think about that in 2015?
I thought it was outrageous. I mean, there was no reason for it. I mean, if it's historical, put it in a museum.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And that's what the governor and the legislature decided to do. Has it been far overdue, in your opinion?
Absolutely. I mean, they decided, but it took them a long time, and it was only when it was brought to the surface and people spoke out about it.
When you get and tackle a different issue here in the community, because you raised over $50 million for different charities here in our community, how do you decide what charity you will focus your efforts on and what makes a cut?
Well, I think it's really important for the donor to beware, because you have to know the organization you're giving your time and support to and who it impacts, and if the funds that are raised really makes a difference. So I study what I'm going to get involved in, and when I do, I'm passionate. It's 24/7. I'm really committed, and I stay involved for years afterwards.
Now, you have been very active in the community, but also you've written books, and I was there for your book signing a few years ago with your children's book. How important and how passionate are you about writing in the community?
Well, I love to write, and I want to finish my book on my second dog, Max, and that book was called Lucas Comes to America, and there are subtle little messages that children need to hear that maybe they don't hear, and they can do it through their love for animals, and they learn about kindness and being thoughtful and caring.
Now, you have spent a lot of time and a lot of money donating it to people here in Houston and different organizations. How do you vet and decide what organization is worthy of that money, especially if we don't have the resources of a Dr. Carolyn Farb?
Well, it's not just resources. I give my time. I'm dedicated, because I wouldn't be able to do what I've done through my resources. I do it through going out into the community, reaching out and raising funds both in kind. There are a lot of people that can't give funds but may want to donate the paper for the invitations, or floral designers that may want to do the centerpieces, like HEB and Kroger and all of those wonderful people that are so generous, and your television station that gives us an opportunity to talk about a cause and enlist the support of people in the community.
Now, the life of Dr. Carolyn Farb, what is that like?
It's really
do you
boring.
shop like at Macy's or Walmart, or have you ever been to those places?
Well, I've been to Lowe's the other day to get some knobs for my mother's kitchen cabinets, and it was great. I happened to go in the right door, the right place, because these places are so overwhelming.
And so when you walk into a Lowe's, are they saying, oh my God, Dr. Carolyn Farb?
They're probably not giving me a second thought. No, but I love things like that. I love to go to movies. I love our city. I'm a native Houstonian. I was born at St. Joseph's Hospital, which is still standing. It's hard to find a building you recognize anymore. Everything's getting torn down, and we're losing some of that spirit that I grew up with, that I think helped me make me the person that I am.
So how do you change that? Is that possible with progress taking place?
Little acts of kindness every day. That's how I would change it. And when I see the homeless on the streets, I think to myself, why not have, instead of another dog park, why not have a refuge for people to get a little shelter, a little comfort, and to know that people care? That can turn people's lives around. Dr.
Carolyn Farb, we want to thank you for coming on the Isiah Factor Uncensored tonight. Make sure you stick around. We're going to talk to you more, and we'll be back with Laura Reynolds from 610 Sports Radio in just a moment. We'll be back. Excellent job, man.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. And welcome back to Isiah Factor Uncensored. We are live tonight, as we will be for several weeks to come. Joining us now is Laura Reynolds from 610 Radio, Sports Radio. Also, Dr. Carolyn Farb is sticking around with us to talk about some of the hot topics that are out there. Before you start, Laura, can you do sexy radio traffic?
You know what? I think they would kick us out of here if I did, so we better not.
Just give me a little bit.
Now, Isiah, I can't tell them what we do after the show. I'd like to hear it.
See, you got two people who want to hear sexy traffic.
Well, why not? Do a little sexy radio talk.
I tell you something you're not going to like. Wait till you see what this Panera manager did to an ex-employee. Let's take a look at the video.
Okay.
Don't hit it! Oh! Unbelievable. Can you believe that? Okay.
Incredible. When I first saw it, I was floored. I mean, this is a manager of a business who knocks out one of his employees because she wants to quit.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, it wasn't just a slight punch. You know, she was going at him, and that's his defense, that she went after him first. But come on, you don't take a full roundhouse punch at the girl. I mean, that's just crazy.
Not fair.
The girl hit a concrete pillar and then fell fell backwards and was nearly knocked out. Wow. You know.
Now, this is by her manager, male manager, and she wanted to quit, and he said, no way, and he stopped her.
What was the reason she wanted to quit?
Well, I'm going to say it's because she was afraid of getting hit. I mean, at this point, that was not
There must have been something.
You know, I don't know at this point, but boy, I don't want to work there, that's for sure. That happened in Manhattan.
Bullying.
Absolutely. You want to hear something funny, though, at another restaurant that happened, at McDonald's. You know the cute little minions that come out with their movie? Well, you can get one in a Happy Meal, but I don't think you're going to be very happy if as a parent, you get this minion. Take a look at this.
Now, you would actually have to have it in front of you. That audio
Yes,
wasn't that great, but we have it in front of us, and I could have sworn it was saying curse words.
Yeah, you know what?
Have you tried it?
Well, you know what? The assistant news director wouldn't let me turn it on, and I was going to play it for you because I really think he is saying curse words. And of course, what they're saying is that, they make nonsense little sounds and syllables, and you're just hearing what you think you hear. Well, you know what I think I hear? I think I hear curse words. So if you buy this at McDonald's, just be aware when the kids are hearing it, if they repeat it back, it may not be because of, daddy in the garage or something like that. It may actually be what they're hearing from the minion. So just be careful on that.
Cyberbullying.
Oh, and speaking of bullying, I'm glad you brought that up because there's a kid who was caught bullying at school. The parent, what his dad did, took him to a local boxing ring, got a professional boxer and said, you want to be a bully? I'm going to show you what happens to bullies. This video is incredible.
I couldn't believe it when I actually had a chance to see it, and then I got mixed feelings because we feel so strongly about bullies in the community, but then to have an adult basically attack him in the boxing ring with his father's permission, I got mixed feelings on that.
That's too far.
Yeah. The son was hurt. I mean, you see him at the very end with bloody lips. He's got a puffy face because the professional boxer, well, you know what? He didn't go lightly on the kid. And so, they're saying that this is the way to teach the kid a lesson, not to be a bully.
It's the wrong way.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
And we got one more real quick.
Let's talk about Ariana Grande. This girl is nuts. She goes into a donut shop. There's a tray of donuts. She licks the donuts and then says, I hate America and I hate Americans. I mean, first of all, who licks a donut and doesn't eat it? All right. And secondly,
especially if it's Krispy Kreme.
Oh, absolutely. Give me a dozen and I'm happy for at least an hour. But she goes and licks the donuts and then apologizes via Twitter. And then the apology is bad. So then she has to come back and make an apology video. Ariana, just stop. Just stop.
She's just young. That's what they're saying, that there's no excuse
All right.
to lick a donut.
Laura Reynolds from 610 Sports Radio, Dr. Carolyn Farb. We'll be right back with some more sports, so stick with us right here on the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night, and I feel what you wanna. Ain't gonna corner.
And welcome back to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We're live in Southwest Houston. And for sports now, Laura Reynolds is with us. Also, Dr. Carolyn Farb and Farouk Shami. My apologies. And love the suit. Love the suit. Let's get with the sports.
You know what? I'm going to start by ticking some people off.
Okay.
Emory University came out with a study that said the best NFL fans are Cowboy fans.
What?
Number one.
That's crazy.
And the way they did the study was like attendance, ticket prices, facilities, all sorts of factors. Apparently, Jerry had some say in some of this and getting up there. And the Texans, in case you're wondering, came in 12th on this study.
That's crazy.
I don't believe it at all. All right. Since we're talking about Dallas, let's talk about a certain Cowboy that was in a little bit of trouble. Defensive end Greg Hardy. You probably remember he got a 10-game suspension for being in 4 alleged incidents with his ex-girlfriend in 2014. Well, those all happened in April of 2014.
1 month?
Well, and what happened was that the personal conduct policy of the NFL didn't get started until December of 2014. So their argument was, you can't go back. and retroactive on those games, so he got his suspension lowered to only 4 games, and that's going to start in September.
But they make their own rules, so why can't they go back? You know, it just looks bad on the NFL if they allow and condone that kind of behavior by not doing anything about it.
You and I can agree on that, but it comes down to the NFL making their own rules. So that's not going to happen. They put it down from 10 to 4 games, and they're going to let him back on the field in time for, I believe, the Patriots.
Okay. Well, what can you do?
I know. And then, you know, since we're talking about Dallas, might as well wrap up with the Mavs, but this is a good story, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So DeAndre Jordan, who lives here in Houston, was talking about maybe signing with the Mavs. In fact, gave a verbal agreement to Mark Cuban. And then you know what happened? He decided, I don't think so. I'm not going to go. And then re-signed with the Clippers. But here's the good part. Mark supposedly found out via Twitter. It's almost like having a boyfriend break up with you via text message. You know, it's that bad when you find out that way. So I'm going to have to say, I kind of like the way you operate, you know, if you're going to do it like that to Mark Cuban. It had to be an ego blow.
My God. I mean, so there is nothing he can do contractually or legally to address that, to get some kind of legal regress?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. You know, I had a verbal agreement. Well, you know what? His signature is actually on the contract for the Clippers, so he's going to be a Clipper.
Okay.
And that's the way it goes.
Any big sports coming up next week? I know we had some issues with the female soccer players and some inequality there.
I know. Can you believe that? Okay, I bet if I would have asked you, you would have guessed that female soccer players make less than male, right? But did you know how much less?
No.
Okay, the women won the gold, and they actually only got $2 million, where men didn't even get a medal.
All right,
and made
Laura.
9.
We're running out of time. Thank you, guys. I want to thank Dr. Carolyn Farb, Farouk Shami. That is it for the Isiah Factor Uncensored. Make sure you join us again next week. Have a great one.